Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Soul Sartorialist podcast. I try to have on people that are truly inspirational, that are doing positive things in the world. And no doubt the person we have here is a man I have the utmost respect for, a gentleman who has a story that will empower and inspire you, a man that who has done so much for the community. And a lot of people don't even realize who this gentleman is. I want to bring in everybody, Mr. Theo. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Good. It's good to be working with you. I've known you at least 2 years,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Since Atlanta.
For sure.
Yeah. So I like what you're doing for the gentlemen. I like how you're getting them suited and booted properly. I mean, look at you. You're suited and booted. I mean, I'm not. I'm just wearing a t-shirt. So yeah, you're doing the work, and I'm enjoying to seeing the results for my students, because
Yes.
when my students consult with you, suddenly they transform. And I'm like, oh, look at that professional over there.
Much appreciated, man. Don't make me blush because of the I am brown, so you won't be able to see it. But so just to kind of get started, man, just to kind of get the audience my audience who may not know who you are, Theo, kind of talk about your background. First of all, where are you from, man? I'm a Marylander. People know that, but where are you from originally?
I'm from all over. So I was born in Illinois. Then I did some time in Japan. Came back to Illinois. Then I was in Europe 2 years, Russia and France. Then I came back, and then I went back to Japan, and I did Japan 12 and a half years.
Phenomenal.
And then I did California 4 years, Illinois 3 more years, and then I did Texas. This is my 9th year in Texas.
Yeah, so you're a man of many travels. So is that fair to say?
Yeah. I've been all over the place. I've been over 40 countries. I really like living abroad. I'm about to go back and live abroad again. So yeah, I love traveling.
For sure. And the thing that's really awesome about you is you provide a worldview and a perspective of what people can achieve if they focus, they study, and they put in the necessary effort. Not only are you a high achieving professional, but you're a man who's very cultured, like you just said, and you have many interests. And like every time I talk to you, I'm like, this dude is on it. And it's like, how much more of my brain can I use to be as sharp as you are, man? It's, in some ways, if people don't know you, it's like when you're around high performers, it can be intimidating a little bit, but you're a kind person, and what you do for others speaks volumes. So phenomenal. Kind of talk about, yeah, for sure. Me and you are both into arts and creative things. Kind of talk about what drew you to the tech industry, because specifically on this podcast, we are connected into the tech world, and most of your students and my clients also are in the tech world. Kind of talk about, because you've achieved at a level that most could even dream of. Like, talk about that journey, man. Let's start how you got into tech. Number one, let's just go there.
Sure. So for me, it was an introduction from my dad. I saw what he was doing with COBOL systems when I was growing up, and I was like, wow, like, Dad, it's really cool. So I just kind of learned COBOL from him, and then I went into C and BASIC, both those languages. And for me, it was just a hobby. It was just something fun to do. When I was 13 years old, I made my first compiler in C. So, I mean, it was just, for me, it was just fun. That's it. It was like playing Atari 2600. That's it. So programming was like this, like Dragon Fire.
Yeah.
Like just a video game, right?
Yeah.
So I just kept on going, and then I did my languages also, and I went to university. Same thing. Just kept on having fun. And when I went to Japan, I didn't think a Black person could actually work in tech, even though I was doing this. And I met one of my friends when I was out in the countryside, and he's like, Theo, what are you doing teaching English? Like, you should be in tech. Like, what are you doing? Like, is something wrong with you?
Yeah.
And something really clicked inside my head. I recognized that I had imposter syndrome, and I wasn't going into tech because I thought, because I was Black, and that needed to go.
Now, talk about the time period too, because our audience is young. So talk about tech at that time too, specifically, because there's a generational difference here.
So this is 1998 at this point. So there's really no internet. I mean, it's there, but it's not really there. So in Japan, where I'm there at this point, you actually have to buy a leased line in order to use internet. So it's going to be like $700. That's just to get internet access, and
Jeez.
I don't have. I'm not going to spend $700. I have no idea if I'm going to be in Japan or not.
Yeah.
So, from a functional perspective, there's no internet. I'm using Windows 98
Hmm.
at this point, so I worked extra to get that. And then if I want to download something or want software, I have to go order it, go get a book, go buy it. So there's like, if I could use Yahoo, it's an amazing thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what my situation is. It's not nothing like we have today.
For sure. Excuse me. And when you talk about 1998, the tech boom as we enter into the new century or new millennium, so to speak, and even now we're in the 2020s, which is crazy. So your perspective, not only was the internet not as much as it was, as vast as it is now, but also Black people are just now getting into tech over the last, 25 years, maybe 25 years.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I didn't even know this. In the early 80s and late 70s, there used to be a lot more Black people in tech.
Really? IBM?
And yeah, IBM, banks, things like that. And I actually talked to some of them about it, and some of the old heads, and they said they don't know what happened, but sometime in the middle 80s and late 80s, Black men in particular started dropping out of tech. And
Mm.
there's no explanation for it. They just don't know why it happened.
Yeah.
So they were actually like, "Hey, come back to tech. We're really great to see it." So when I grew up, I only saw my dad working with tech or around tech, but I didn't see it with really anyone else, and that really shaped me. That I really wasn't going to be allowed to be in tech.
Yeah.
So again, when I was in Europe, kind of the same thing. Just kept on studying like C and programming, things like that. So when I was in Japan, I didn't think, especially a foreigner, could work in computers in Japan, but also a Black foreigner is impossible.
Yeah.
And nah, man, that was some crazy. I was talking crazy. I didn't even know what the market was, and so when I finally saw what the market was, and I got my first certification, it was. I never looked back. I just kept on doing tech the rest of my life.
I love that. And I wish I was born maybe 15 years earlier so I could make that. What was that? I'm curious. What was the .com bubble like in your experience? I'm very curious. And because were you near in Japan during the .com bubble?
Like the .com bubble really was the United States. Like it was
Okay.
like in Europe. It was
Okay.
a really big thing. Japan was a slow adopter. So for Japan, they didn't really have the boom until 2002. And
Oh,
the
okay.
reason was because they didn't have deregulation.
Okay.
So NT&T owned all the phone lines.
Oh,
So if you wanted to have a phone line to your house, a landline,
yeah.
it did cost $700. So like we're just not going to do that, right? This is just too expensive.
Yeah.
And so when they deregulated, they're like, "Hey, look, we'll give you the connection and internet for $30 a month. We'll come and do the wiring for you." I was like, "Yeah, sign me up. $30 a month sounds pretty good."
Yeah.
And then later on, they started doing fiber. So when people's houses connected to the internet in 2002, that's when Japan started having its boom.
Ah, interesting. So 2002 was really when things really got there. I'm going to draw a little close to you guys so you can see me a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that is fascinating. That's interesting. Right around the time when Sega Genesis was popular, right? That's kind of the Sega Genesis. No, not Sega Genesis. Sorry, the Dreamcast times.
Yeah. That's right.
It kind of aligns with that. So,
Dreamcast,
a Black man, going to Japan. For me, I've had a lot of over the last 10 years, maybe because I'm older and I can afford it. But you see a lot more people wanting to go to Japan. Talk about that flight, man, because I've known someone that's going to Japan now. That flight is pretty hardcore. What was that experience? Was that the longest flight that you had ever gone on up until then?
No, Russia was the longest one.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, that was really long. But Japan, remember, when I went to Japan, it was a one-way ticket.
Okay.
It was boom. So the thing that I remember about the flight to Japan, the number one, was that I had to work to get my way back home.
Okay.
So if I wanted a ticket back to America, I had to have the money to get back. And essentially, like, I was burning through my money like crazy. So if I screwed up in Japan, that was it. I mean, how was I going to fly back home?
For sure.
And I remember that on the airplane flight, like, you can't screw this up, Theo. you got to be good. This has to be successful.
So Russia's longer than Japan. Okay. In terms of like, what is your mentality on that flight? I'm curious. Are you nervous? Are you like, this is way too long? How do you keep yourself like mental? Like, do you sleep? What are you doing that whole? It's about is it 18 hours?
I would say it wasn't 18 hours.
Oh, okay.
So I remember. Okay, if I do Tokyo, New York is 16 hours.
Okay.
And Tokyo, London is 16 hours also. Those are pretty lengthy ones, but
Okay.
I fly business class when I do those flights.
Okay.
So my okay, just to be honest, what I do is I go to gym 2 to 3 hours first before the flight.
Okay.
And I just drink water, but I don't eat anything.
Okay.
And then when I get to the airport, I get to the airplane, right? I just have like 2 shots of sake and then a nice dinner, right?
Okay.
I just count. And that's it. So I sleep almost the entire flight.
Okay. Well, sake will do that to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I land. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I guess I have some breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, do you want your lunch? You know, 'cause I was sleeping while the lunch was being served. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just get out of the airport, go through immigration, they check everything, and I'm in.
So the best way really to go to Japan, you basically got to be boozed. Because for me, I have ADHD and I don't like being in flying metal things for more than 4 or 5 hours. So the anxiety would be like up here. So yeah, I just gotta get drunk. Because I've always wanted. I grew up in a Koreatown, in an area in the Northeast, heavy Korean community.
True.
Yeah,
so
it's
true.
very Korean area, and so especially Northern Virginia, huge Korean enclaves as well. And so I've always wanted to go to that part of the world, but just the level of anxiety is like ridiculous. So I'm taking, yeah.
I recommend doing my method.
Okay.
So you're not gonna do sake, you're gonna do sochu.
Okay, sochu. Okay.
Sochu is more powerful than sake.
Okay.
So if I were you, again, you work out. I see what you're doing there. So I would weight lift 1 hour, and then I would do 2 hours of cardio.
Okay.
Just drink water. Get to the airplane. Make sure you fly business class.
Okay.
Right.
For sure.
Then get on there. Get 2 shots of sochu and get a good dinner. Right. Get some good food in there. You'll sleep the entire way to Seoul.
Okay.
Guarantee you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good method because we only get so much time on this floating rock, and one of my things is just to face fears to a degree. As much as I've been to Toronto, I've been to other places, but in order to really become a cultured person, you have to get beyond a 6-hour flight. It's just what it is, and most of the world is not very reachable within 6 hours. So, very interesting.
I think Sao Paulo was 12 hours, something like that. So almost always, if you go to Sao Paulo, it's a night flight.
Okay.
So I mean, like I remember I left Atlanta. I left Atlanta at 7 p.m. I think, and I arrived in Sao Paulo at 7 a.m. something like that.
Very interesting. Okay, so so you go over to places that many a brother have not necessarily ventured to, and you go through this, and you're learning all these skills. Now, as we know, part of life is, and I've learned this in 35 years of life, it's always ups and downs, it's always this and that. There was a pivotal time in your life when you went through quite a bit. Can you share that with our audience? Because a lot of times, and this is where mental fortitude and to have the level of grit that we need to really get to where you want to go. You're going to have, life is just never going to be like this. It's always a dance. It's always a dance, right? Talk about that part of your life. It wasn't necessarily the easiest part, but it gave you a lot of character and also inspired you to do what you're doing now.
Oh, this is probably the most difficult, to be honest. I had some other problems that happened before, but yeah, so when I was in Japan, my wife died. My wife died in childbirth, and the child also died. Yeah. And then my company nearly went bankrupt, so I had to sell all assets and liquidate. And that meant that I lost my house in Japan. And then of course, I came back to America. I was absolutely crushed. So I couldn't take it anymore. and I came back to America, and then I had cancer, and I thought my oncologist was lying, so I didn't even pay attention to it. And then what is it? I was homeless for a while with my dogs, which was a horrible situation. Had multiple evictions, really hard time. Money was horrible. So I went down to, what was it, in 2008, I made $250,000.
Yeah.
And then in America, 2011, I didn't make $23,000 in the entire year. So it was a big thing. It was pretty bad. So I had to, in 2012, there were some complications to the cancer. I had to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So I actually started doing chemotherapy, and that entire process, that was horrible. And so I hit rock bottom in 2012. And when that happened, that's when I started rethinking what I was doing in a lot of different areas. And particularly for the career, I had to redesign how I was interviewing and how I was getting jobs and how I networked and presented myself in America.
Yeah.
And that was very hard, but I had to be honest and say, like, what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong?
No doubt. And just to unpack that, man, first of all, because I can't imagine losing someone you love. I've lost my mom recently, my favorite uncle, my older sister passed, just so many people. And so, no one talks about that, man. Like to lose so much at stack. And some people less would put them, just never recover, right? And you sort of have all these things that are just beating on you. And cancer, I can't imagine having the mentality, because it puts you in a state of shock. So you have an avalanche of adversity in front of you, and that for many people who are not as strong as you could be like literally never recover. And there's a lot of people in the world, and to be said, even in a lot of in the unhoused population, where mental health, they literally had a mental breakdown and they just could not recover. And I've had, and I've known of folks who've gone through those type of things. So to rise from that, talk about that, man, because losing your wife, moving from another country back to America, not being able to, and this is post the Great Recession in 2008, and all the markets are changing, and just life and cancer, man, it's just to be where you are today, the fortitude to push through. Talk about that, man. What was your guiding light? Because a lot of people would just fold and just never recover.
I had to think about, how can I say, it was more like, if I've achieved so much and then I lost it, I knew how to make it. So why wouldn't I make it again? And the loss was temporary, but the knowledge of how to be successful was always in my mind. And so essentially what happened was that the tragedies and losses only like refined me, made me harder, made me concentrate more and understand that there was something to lose. So I was very honest. I went back through my past and I said, well, what do I did wrong? Right. And I went through like painstakingly, like I started from about 1987 and just went through every year. So like, what is wrong? Like, what have I done wrong? What was wrong with the path?
Yeah.
And I started doing the changes from there. And it was like a big unraveling.
Yeah.
But I'll straight out admit, for anyone who's watching this, especially in 2012 when I had cancer, when I was going through chemo,
Yeah.
I woke up in the morning. I didn't know why I woke up. It didn't make any sense. I was like, why? Like, I don't have to wake up. I can just stay asleep. And there was the only reason I stayed awake, I woke up, was for my dogs.
Wow.
So I thought, I don't want anyone to take care of my dogs. Right?
Yeah.
So I have to have my dogs. So I said, okay, my dogs are mine. And then I was like, well, I haven't reproduced yet. So I guess I want a child. I still haven't made a child, but I thought like, yeah, I want to have a child who lives, who's there with me. And I was like, okay, well, like that's a start. Let's start from there.
Yeah.
So it was a long haul ultimately. But again, what did I do wrong? What was my financial plan? What were my assumptions? How did I approach business in Japan wrong? One of the big things I learned about my failures with Japan was that um, I needed, like, ultimately my focus was on me to be the main person to do everything,
Yeah.
and I wasn't thinking about the group. And I really thought about that, and I was like, yeah, that was wrong. There was reasons for this, and I went to therapy for those reasons, and I took care of them. As I said, like, those reasons aren't me. That's somebody else from my past coming out. And so I took care of that, but all, like, I just want to tell people this wasn't like 1 year. So I had to implement a series of changes, and that took me between 2011 to 2017.
Yeah.
So 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very wise. Yeah, you figured out a game plan. You structured it. You had an attack plan, and
Yeah.
you became tactical, like you said, more sharper, more gritty, more focused. And a lot of us need to do that, man. Like, when I lost my mom, my older sister passed first, then my mom right after her, then my favorite uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just right after, literally right during COVID, right? Like right at the back end of COVID, like when it's all clean and everything. And I just was like, man, this is because a lot of times, especially as you get older as a man, because I'm in my mid 30s and you have a couple weeks on me, right? And you get settled in certain things. You say, this is good enough. But in order to truly accomplish and to conquer life and to live a life worth living, the mentality that you need to have is no, it's not acceptable. You can't get comfortable in your comfort. You literally have to continue to redevelop, to reschool, retool every year, because every year is going to bring a new thing. And you know this. Every year is something new. Whether it's a new skill, it's upskilling, it's learning something new. Just the world we live in inherently, you have to just redevelop yourself. And so the same thing. In order for me to do that, I just had to say, okay, I'm doing good here, but I could do. You have to. For me, I use this thing. The biggest critic that you need to have is when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself, you say, are you really living up to the person that you can be? You know what you can do. You know what you're capable of. You know what your full capacity is. And I think every man knows if he's not truly hitting it. If he's, you know what I'm saying? You can't lie to yourself. You know, deep inside yourself, you're like, damn, I could be doing more. I really can. To me, it was a nagging thing. Did you have that type of feeling too? Where it's like something deep in inside of you, like, man, I know I can really fully be a fully realized person, but I have to do this. Was that part of your journey as well?
I would say is you have to go through that process and become the highest form that you can. But to really be successful, after you become the highest form, you need to be crushed. And then you need to evaluate whether or not you really want to do this. And you want to go back into it, or what you believed, is it fundamentally sound? And if you lose everything, then you're gonna have to find some reason to actually do one thing. And from that experience, you'll probably be successful, because success is going to look totally different.
Yeah.
You're going to be, yeah, I can do it twice. I can do it 3 times. Why am I doing it?
Yeah.
And you have to understand that loss is a normal part of life. So how do you prepare for loss? And once you get into that mode, you're going to be fine. So I mean, like you're in your mid 30s, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I lost my wife at 34. When
Yeah.
I think 35 was the big year, because I made a huge decision that affected the rest of my life. And then I lost Japan right at the end of 36.
Yeah.
And then cancer was 37 to 39. So, like in that entire period, my losses just kept on accumulating. It's just a decent, and you're just going to have to figure out like why you're doing it. So you, for example, you're going out there and you're doing the best you can. You're making something for yourself. You're following a script and you believe that you can do this, right? What I say is the day when you're successful and you've been successful for a while based upon your ideas,
Yeah.
and then everything is taken from you
Yeah.
except your ideas, then that's when it gets real.
Yeah.
And you have to think like, do I do this? Yes or no? I like where you're at in life, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a really cool time. You're like in mid 30s, the late 30s. It's interesting because it's going to determine what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And are your 20s actually going to be success, or was it successful? Would it have any meaning? So I think you're on the right trajectory. But just wait until you're really successful.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's fascinating. And that's the idea of this podcast. There's so many young guys, 18, 17, 19, 20, and they have this dystopian mentality, or not even dystopian, but it's like this defeatist mentality. Like, oh, we're cooked, and that's the word that you hear. We're cooked, the whole thing. And it's like, man, the world has gone through so many revolutions and things over the last 200-300 years, and it's going to continue to change, and it's going to continue to be radical changes. And you better strap in, and humans are going to be here until the asteroid. I forgot the name of this asteroid that comes and crushes everything.
Yeah.
We're going to be here, brother. So you got to strap in and get ready to go. Right. So let's move to the positive. So you go through so much loss, you recalibrate, you retool, you resharpen yourself. Talk about the light that came at the end of the tunnel. What was that, man? Because you are one of the most credentialed people I've ever met in my life. Seriously. You read books that would take probably someone from grade 1 to, from
like this.
Yes. Yes.
I like these kind of books. I'll say this. This is might be surprising for you when I say this to you. For me, the light never came.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I had to learn to live in darkness.
Yeah.
And to thrive in darkness. And to accept that everything wasn't going to be good. And what I wanted in life was probably going to be denied me. And that was okay. And I could continue on. And this was a way of having endurance of my faith, endurance of what I believed in. So I just continued. But I said, yeah, I'm going to continue in darkness. So again, when I hit $1 million in assets, it wasn't like there was a huge party or anything like that. I had a steak dinner. That's it. But I didn't go out and have a steak dinner. I cooked my steak here, right? Because I'm keeping my costs down.
Yes, sir.
My dog and I had steak together. That's what it was.
Hey, that's what you're supposed to do. That's the loyalty. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she was. My dog was with me when I was homeless, and she was with me when I had my first $1 million in assets. It doesn't. For anyone who's listening, you may not make it in life like that, but you can still be successful in a lot of other areas. But your criteria for success may never materialize. It may never manifest. And if that's true, you got to keep on going, because ultimately, what are you going to do? Stop? And that's what I always tell myself, like, am I going to stop here? Because is this going to be like, is this where I am right now? Is this the best I'm going to achieve for the rest of my life? Well, if that's true, then I don't like this, right?
Yeah.
So even like, for example, when I hit $300,000 a year, first time I did it, I was pretty happy about the money, right?
Yeah.
But I used that time. I mean, what I remember about it was I was in therapy and I was getting my mental health correct. And I'll just say this, that therapy was pure darkness.
Yeah.
It was absolutely horrible. So it was for a childhood survivor of narcissistic parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were going through, and looking at what actually happened to me when I was growing up, and a lot of it was very dark
Yeah.
in nature. And you know, it. That's why I said, okay, I'm making 300,000. I'm making 350,000. Making 380,000. It really didn't matter to me. I
Yeah.
was like, I got other things to take care of.
Yeah. And you've achieved in one pinky toe on your foot, and most people accomplish their entire life. And so that's why we have the podcast. So
Yeah.
okay. So let's get to the goodies, because we're gonna nerd out of here on third base, guys. We're rounding second, and we're getting to third. So talk about that, man. You upskilled like Vegeta. I mean, not Vegeta, like Super Saiyans. You upskilled like to a degree that, I mean, you know, and that's just my theme of life. You have to upskill, whether that's tech, whether that's whatever. Upskill in eating better, upskill in mentality, upskill in taking care of yourself. I even, you know, I've been upskilling and going to, you know, for me, I've gotten into this, trying to go to just get your maintenance as a dude. It's okay to get to get your manicure and getting yourself taken care of. You don't want to have daggers and cutting up your bed sheets and, you know, like a Ninja Turtle on your feet. You don't want to look. You don't want that going on, man. You got to take care of yourself. And for me, I come from a blue collar family. Father, blue collar, worked very hard, just grind and be very attention to detail and never take vacations and just bust your back. And so all that stuff that I did in my 20s, not taking vacations, not taking care of myself, it starts to creep, as you know, this, it does creep up on you in your 30s, especially in your mid 30s. You think certain things, you notice certain things that when I was 21, 22, I was just reckless. I would play basketball 8 hours a day. No, not a pain in my knee, ankle, back. I could eat a certain way. I could eat a whole large pizza with a cheesesteak, 2 hours in between with a whole. So just your body changes and things changes. And so I learned to kind of pace myself, to slow down, to be more thoughtful, to be more intentional. So talk about that, man. In order to get to that level of achievement, what did you learn? What type of tech? What did you learn in tech? Because my guys who follow me want to be number one top achievers in life, and you did that. What type of things did you learn immediately to add skills that could put you in that 300,000 plus world? Because you know you've made that and over. So what type of skills did you have to acquire to do that? My audience wants to know.
Let me say this. So first off, you still have some more years to get stronger. I didn't hit my maximum strength until I was 38.
Okay.
And that was about right before I went into chemo, so 39. Okay. Chemo knocked me out. And then 40, 41, I came back to almost my previous strength level. Okay. And if you're just consistent, you can get stronger. So yeah. I'm pretty big on this one. I'll say this, guys. One of my pastors said, okay, what you do in your 20s will pay off in your 40s. And this is pretty true. So for me, I got my CISSP, which is Certified Information Systems Security Professional. I got that when I was 28.
Okay.
That saved me during the recession 2008 to 2011.
Okay.
The reason I was able to get jobs was because of that certification. And after that, I mean, when it came to COVID, the reason I survived COVID is I changed to cloud native.
Okay.
So I did AWS and GCP and Azure. And then that's when I went from 300,000 a year to 600,000. Right? So it was a huge jump.
Huge jump. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it was cloud. It was a big thing. Right now, I'm doing another jump. I don't want to do the jump right now. I think it's too soon. Yeah. But of course, I'm doing the jump into AI. Like, again, I got my AI engineering book right here. It's a really great book.
For sure.
I teach AI right now. I have an AI class. I've got over 50 books. I wish I could show you my books. I got a huge amount of books here.
For sure.
It was getting into AI was like, right now, this is the true game changer. I'm stunned at how effective AI, the current level of AI is. Yeah. Before, like just 6 months ago, I was saying this is crap, it's worthless. And now I'm like, okay, it's actually hitting a decent level of maturity.
Yeah.
So I would say the people who are listening to this, this one, we got you guys to be honest. AI is not an entry-level job. You're not going to come in there and say, I'm an AI developer from the beginning. Stop. You're done. Like, stop. You need to do cloud first or infrastructure first or coding, particularly Python, PyTorch, but Python's really good. You need to have some sort of coding experience, and then you need to understand infrastructure and applications because you integrate AI into those environments. AI doesn't just stand alone by itself. Like if you go to ChatGPT right now, you're not going to make $1 million in a year just by going to the site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's be like, okay, I'll just talk to you, which it could do. You could talk to you all day long, but you're not going to make $1 million from it. So you need to understand how to use it, which is integration to your environment. Well, if you can't make the environment, then you don't know what you're integrating into.
For sure. And that's the thing I really want to harp on, Theo, and you're one of the most foremost guys that I respect in this area. We're in the most competitive time in human history. If you are not developing these skills now, don't worry about 2030. Don't worry about AGI and all that other stuff. Don't worry about that. You ain't gonna survive anyway. You need to.
No. You're right. Yeah, you need to adopt.
Now,
yeah.
It is. If you know how they said the British are coming, the British are coming, the British are coming. Things are coming down the pipeline. I put this episode out. I remember when I first started this channel, I had an episode called AI will take your job. Here's what you need to do. And it is taking a lot of redundancy, and because I work in the tech world as well, a lot of redundancy, a lot of things are getting, a lot of our lives are way easier. Honestly, I use it like 80% of the time for everything that I do, specifically because I'm customer facing. But you will need to understand that the world that we live in is just going to rapidly change, and you need to prepare for it. You need to be ready for it right now. So developing soft skills. So not only being really good at these things, but human contact, ability to communicate, ability to talk, the ability to interact is going to become even more important, because when certain things and automations and redundancies are removed, what about interpersonal skills? What about creativity? Human things that are tangible, intangibles, right? That's going to become just as important. So talk about that, Theo. You getting into AI, you are training and developing a group of men to be capable for that. And when we hear so many negative things about the world, where it's like, as we know, in urban centers and especially in certain communities where they may not have assets and resources to upskill and to do these things, you are on a grassroots level developing a curriculum where you have produced many six-figure guys, many successful men, some of them my clients. Literally men who have no background in tech whatsoever, no skill set whatsoever. And then they go into your class and they come out and they're making high six figures, if not more than that. Talk about that, man. What made that? What came into your heart to do that and to give back? And it's very exhaustive. And you run multiple classes and you run multiple courses. And these are high level things that require a lot of energy on top of being a top producer and what you do. What made you want to do that, man? Because a lot of these organizations aren't doing that in these communities.
I got tired of the narrative that black men couldn't do anything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to show you this. And in particular, like the second year that I was making $600,000, I was telling people that I was making $600,000 a year because other people were saying, like, don't just keep it secret, talk about it. Like, put it on the open. So I did, and people couldn't believe it. First, that nobody makes $600,000, and second, that I was a black man who was making $600,000. And I thought, okay, I'll make a group of men who can do this. In fact,
I love that.
I'll get hundreds of men to do this. Watch me do this. Okay?
Yeah.
So I did. I started doing it, right? And that was the real drive. I just got sick and tired of people talking about black men this way. So, I started creating the class, started creating the curriculum, and a lot of it was I wanted it to be like, I forgot the fort, like I forgot the military school where the leaders teach what they learned on the battlefield, so the new cadets can come out. I forgot. There's a military school for that.
It's not Buds. It's not Buds, right? It's
I forgot what it is.
Yeah.
But I modeled it after that, and my view was that I was going to come into the class and teach what I really learned in the office.
Yeah.
And instead of just teaching from books, I was like, no, this is what you need to do the work.
Yes.
From that point of view, like, what do you need? I don't care about theory. What do you need to do to get it done? And I just worked at it from that point of view. And like regarding AI, the big thing right now with AI is that you need to become an AI enabled something. So an AI enabled professional, right? So an AI enabled programmer, an AI enabled cloud engineer, something like that. If you are not AI enabled, your job will be eliminated by someone who is AI enabled. I don't believe okay, so like I teach Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
I just used AI to help do Cisco-based deployments.
Mm.
I was stunned. I didn't even know it was possible. I did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if you're not using this tool, you're not knowing what's going on, because this tool is really useful.
Yeah.
So I would say right now, again, what you're saying in the beginning, if anyone listening, you need to understand how to integrate AI into your workflow. If you don't understand this, or you fail to understand this, 2030, 2031, you will be made redundant. Like somebody else will take your job because they're AI enabled and you are not. It's just that easy. You really need to get on it right now.
Like, and the reason why, Theo, we're talking about it now, literally, just like, I don't want to speak prophetically, but you really only have another year or two to really get with it. And from what I was saying at work, like to really get with it. And you can't be caught on your back foot. Executives and organizations are figuring out they have it, but they're like, how do we use it correctly? How do we take our data sets and our language models and effectively, because we have dirty data, how do we get clean data that actually makes sense so that we can actually apply it to our larger enterprise level scale? So the average American, especially, I want to talk to Black America right now, because I don't like to talk about race and stuff like that, but I really want to talk to Black America. Because we always, in a lot of ways, we trail in some ways, in some things, specifically in the tech world. You need to be playing with Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot, Microsoft, Google, Gemini. You need to play with these things, get a subscription, $20, take that money that you would use for some other tool, Beyonce concert, allocate that for a 1-year subscription for AI and just play with it and get to, you know what I'm saying? Get to play with it, just get to know it. Make some cool graphics. You have to do this. This is literally revolutionizing the world. And everyone hears it and says it, but me and you are professionals who touch this every day. And salespeople and people on the front lines, I literally see departments and things they're removing people who are not AI enabled.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll say this. So I use ChatGPT. And full disclosure. Until ChatGPT 5.1, which I started using in November, until then, I thought AI was a glorified search engine.
Yes.
That was about all it could do, and I really wasn't that enthused by it. So it could do some things that were useful, but I didn't think it was that great. And I was using foundational models. When I saw ChatGPT 5.1, and I saw a concept called chain of thought, and how chain of thought worked, I was like, oh my goodness, the entire workflow that I do as a professional has to change immediately. And if I don't change it, I am going to be out of date.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could be employed for another 2 months.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't know. I could be made redundant by chain of thought.
Wow.
And I just got into it. And so, again, in the class right now, I'm redoing all of the classes that I teach based upon chain of thought.
Wow.
I am now introducing AI for all the students and saying, this is okay. I was before it was kind of like a basic level. I'm like, okay, you're doing basic, but now you have to go to intermediate level straight out. And for my advanced students, we're actually designing small language models.
Yes.
Put on our computers. We're going to be doing it this weekend. We have no choice. We have to move that quick. So
Yeah.
language, I'm just saying, chain of thought, point. If you're not using it and you're not implementing it to your workflow, you could be made redundant by a 13-year-old, like literally. And I can tell people who, okay, with chain of thought, I can tell people who understand a process versus people who don't understand a process within about 5 seconds. It's like, boom,
Mm.
I know who knows what they're doing and who doesn't know what they're doing because I can tell how you're using AI.
Ah.
It's very obvious, like how you approach it.
Yeah.
So if you're like, for example, give me a photo of Rambo with 6 arms, and now I want Rambo with 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you like, really? But if you're like, give me the backstory of Rambo, how it reflects American culture, and then let's think about how like how people have suffered from PTSD, and you're like, hey, look, what would have happened to American culture if American society if we weren't in the Vietnam War?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the transformation we have in the culture. If you start thinking about it in terms of process and thinking about situations about how things should be, and then how the structure should be in those idealized situations, you're going to be able to do programming. You could actually make structure. You actually know how to structure programming or environment like Terraform, like cloud infrastructure, anything like that. You could do all of that. And so I just sit back. I was like, I know who's doing the work and who actually think and who isn't. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
So yeah, chain of thought is where that's just one thing. There's a huge lot of others, but that one, I saw that. I was like, oh yeah, it's here. Get on the bus right now. Get on the boat.
Get on it. And it's good. And when they say revolutionize it, it really will. And I just want to see our community do well, because a lot of times when they say it, if it rains in one community, it floods in ours, right? So we want to see that. So now, you know what I mean? So and the interesting, and for me, coming from I come from single parent background, working class, and it got to this point, and it takes a lot to get there. So we just want you to really understand that. So cool, you run the class, you've done so many wonderful things, and I just see the look in the eyes of your students. We know there's a student that we really deeply appreciate. Yeah is awesome. And I have the most utmost. I met him in Atlanta at the event that we did there, and I love the dude. Just there's such good spirited people that just want to be great, and for you creating a platform and supporting these guys and to see them go from one place to another and a whole new lifestyle. Like, for me as a person who's lived pretty good for the last couple of years and put myself into a good situation, I love seeing guys, especially black men, being put in situations where it's like, man, is always telling me, man, I'm going to try these different steaks out. I like these different steaks. And I'm like, you like that experience, don't you? Yeah, you can pick and choose what you want. And, just you see the light in his eyes, right? Just the light in his eyes and how happy it is. Like, man, it feels good to be on this side of it. And if you want to be on this side of it, you got to roll your sleeves up. And men like Theo are doing that. So, folks, love what you're doing. And we'll talk about how to get into that in the future. So let's talk about fun stuff, man. Like, you're a high achiever, you're doing this wonderful thing for the black community specifically. You're annihilating stereotypes of people that oh, look at it, look, oh, it's so beautiful.
This is Chewbacca.
Love Chewbacca. Say hi to Chewbacca.
There you go. Hey Chewbacca, how you doing? Oh, he's a Yorkie Poo.
He's so cute. How old is he?
He's 11. Yeah, he's 11.
He's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I want a German Schnauzer so bad, like a miniature Schnauzer.
Oh yeah, they're good. Yeah,
they're so. I had a lady. I was walking in my neighborhood, which is a nice neighborhood, and the lady it had to be an elderly Caucasian woman. She was probably somewhere about 60, 70, about 70, and the most beautiful, well-trimmed beard. And so yeah, I'm looking at how you get the appropriate gate system, not like where you can have it open and clear so that they feel comfortable. I'm fully anti-closed gate. I don't like when they crate people and close them up. Are you anti-crating? What's your opinion on crating?
I don't crate. Nah. Yeah,
I'm anti-crate. Yeah. I'm fully anti-crate.
Yeah. I don't get crate, and dogs are socials. They're supposed to be with you, so I sleep with my dogs.
For sure.
Yeah, they sleep on my side. They usually on my leg or my shoulder or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's where they want to be, and to put them into a crate over to the side, I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's anti-pack behavior. They're
Yeah.
pack animals.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I was up, and honestly, Theo, literally at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I was like, I just want to look up miniature schnauzers all night long. I was up 2 o'clock in the morning. This is ADHD. I'm researching the history of the breed, the different colors they come in, and then I'm looking at because they have these module type of basically. So when you can still create an area where they go and sit when they can have their own alone time and where they want to chill out. But I was looking at the different type of modules, the materials that they make them out of, because some people get these metal ones. So I want to have an open-ended module where it has like the glass where they can see through it and everything, but it's open. It's fully open. They can go in there when they want. They can sit, pee, do whatever. You know what I mean? They can kind of do their thing. And I was looking at the type of bedding that they need and the moisture type stuff. And then I was looking at food. Okay, wet foods, bone, no bone. Are you like? What's your opinion on that? Because I just love animals. Period. Are you like a bone guy? Like, what type of food are you like? Yeah, I feel like you give your animals the best food. Period.
yeah, I just like the recommendation is just to give them like the dog food officially. I'm like, do you own a dog? Like, because
No.
you're supposed to eat like the same food. Like, you're supposed to eat like together, right? So I just give them whatever's off my plate.
Yeah.
Boom, here you go.
Yeah.
I tend to look for the fatty sections, especially a steak. I give them the fat. They love it. If if I ever eat pork, I stopped eating pork for a while because it's for health reasons.
Yeah.
But before, when I ate health, my dogs were like little raptors. They knew pork. They were going around like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some pork today. If I ate bacon, oh yeah, they're really attentive to what I was doing.
I love it.
So I remember that. They have their own dog food, and basically my two breeds are really good at self-regulating.
Yeah.
So they wait for me the entire day to give them food.
Okay.
And when I stop eating, which I usually stop eating before 5 p.m., if I stop eating, then they go eat their dog food for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Usually how it is.
Love it.
So, yeah, if I eat filet mignon, they eat filet mignon too.
Now, are you do you do dry or wet? What do you with the dog food? Do you do dry or wet? What do you prefer to get them?
I usually give them dry because I'm giving them wet anyway from my plate.
Okay, makes sense. So it balances out one way or another.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of like, I'm kind of going back to my Japanese. So for me to lose weight, I'm supposed to eat like only 80% what's on my plate anyway.
Okay.
Right. So the other 20%, what are you going to do with it? So the dogs are right here. Like, this is why you're here. So put that on the floor.
Love that.
They get the 20%. And the rule basically is that if I didn't give food off my plate for the dogs, I'm probably gaining weight.
Yes.
So
okay.
Did I give them food? Right. So yeah.
I love that. Well, this is kind of like the extra hours now. We're in the extra innings now. You've traveled to Russia and Japan. For the guy who's like, man, because we know about a lot of people go to Japan, but not a lot of people go to Russia. Talk about like in your experience, man. What city did you go to? What was the like on the plane getting off? What was the smell? I want to know, man. I want to live vicariously through you. What was it like? You get off the plane. Tell us, kind of walk us through that.
Ooh, so I lived 1 year in St. Petersburg.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. When I was landing in St. Petersburg in Russia, the first time I saw pollution on the ground, and I saw deforestation, and I also saw the effects of World War II. And I remember the first thing I thought was, please turn the plane around. Go back to London. Like, can we fly back?
Yeah,
I made the wrong decision. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know this was what I was getting into. So it was a hard year for me, to be honest. The airport was rough.
Really? Was it?
Yeah, it really wasn't developed. It was one of the least developed airports I've been to. One piece of my luggage was stolen, which affected my entire study abroad for the year for me. I was without a lot of materials. So they stole all my books, and I was without my Russian books. It was a really big thing. It was horrible. And at least I had my clothes so I could survive the winter, which was kind of important.
Yeah.
I would say like Russia was, let's say this. The one thing I learned about Russia when I went from the airport to my dormitory was that everyone knew where you were. There was no place to hide. And if you decided to act out, they could deal with you and bring force against you immediately.
Wow.
I remember that airplane. I remember just that drive to the dormitory. And I was like, you have to behave here. You cannot act out of order. And I did. I was on my best behavior the entire time I was there.
What about the food?
The food, there was a famine when I was there. So
oh, wow.
if we could find food, we'd just eat it immediately.
Yeah.
And it was tasty if it was there. It was bland.
Yeah.
A lot of borscht, of course, but I just remember like cereal, spaghetti. We got that from Germany. The food was, again, if it wasn't rotten and it was available, it was tasty. It was good. But outside of that,
Yeah.
I lost a lot of weight in Russia.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine. Phenomenal. And in Japan, we all have. I think for inherently in the American psyche, especially in the African American community, we love Asian culture, whether that is Japan, Korea, Philippines, South America, wherever, China. We for some reason, I just think as a people, we have a deep appreciation of respect for the historical nature of their culture, how they keep their culture. And so when you went to Japan, to a lot of people, it would look like, especially for me as a person who gets very overstimulated. Was it overstimulating for you? Because did you go to the major city first, or how was that?
Yeah, I lived in Tokyo, the Tokyo metropolitan area for the entirety of the 16 years I was there. I was there twice.
So was it like bright? Like as soon as you got to the plane, like lights everywhere, and it's like you're having a seizure almost.
No, okay. So if you land in Tokyo, they're kind of unusual that their airport isn't connected directly to their city.
Really?
So yeah, you have to take a 2-hour train ride from the airport to
to
Tokyo. Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, they make sure that they're making sure like they don't know who you are. So if you're crazy, you're far away from them. They're like, we're gonna put you over there just to make sure. So it kind of makes sense. Like there's not like Tokyo doesn't have that much land, right? So they put in what's called Narita.
Okay.
So when you're taking the train, all you're seeing is rice paddies.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just seeing Hatake all the time. There's a little rice paddy here, there, everywhere, just countryside. And you're going at like 150 miles an hour. It doesn't matter. You're moving all over the place. Yeah, it's pretty fast. So suddenly you get into the city, and when you get into the city, it's just suddenly like this huge metropolis that's just endless. It's just like, wait a minute, this is way big. This is huge.
Is it overwhelming at the first sight?
I don't think overwhelming is the word for it.
Okay.
You really your mind isn't big enough to comprehend the scale that you're in.
Jesus,
it's
really?
Absolutely huge. Yeah, you will see like nothing but buildings and people everywhere, and you just get used to it. Like, let's say this. After all those years in Japan, I went to California.
Yeah.
And I had a fear of open places when I was there. So if I would walk down the street and there was no cars and no people, I would get scared.
It would freak you out.
Yeah. Because I hadn't seen that in like 12 years.
Jesus.
I didn't even know what that was. I was like, wait a minute, there's nobody around. Like, what do I do? Like if you're in Shibuya, like in Shibuya, it's easy to see 10,000 people crossing the street at one time.
Wow.
Yeah. My train station that I use was a kind of a normal train station. 500,000 people pass through there every day.
Jesus.
Yeah. Go ahead. You first.
I'm curious. So what do you think because we got the new Meta glasses, we have the new Apple AirPods that help you translate, especially on this channel. We want men to be cultured, to travel, and to be respectful of other cultures, and to have a reverence for those cultures, not just to be Americans in other countries, but to be cultured, respectful travelers. So what do you see with the AI glasses? Do you think that's going to, honestly, we'll all be able to talk to each other and communicate. But I'm curious what your perspective are with the new AI glasses and translation services that are coming out with all these different tools. And what do you think about that? How's that going to affect international travel in the future?
I think if you're going to just be a traveler for a week or two, that's cute, and it gets you out of a lot of trouble. But for the most part, you're going to be in areas that are already used to tourists, so they're going to speak in English anyway. Okay, but if you're going to go hardcore like I did, then you had better be learning the book. So, like for example, I'm learning languages right now. Like okay, I speak French, Russian, and Japanese fluently. All three of those. I'll get a book right now. This is back from the day. Here, this is my book from my late wife. So this is Japanese, like Windows 2000 server.
Wow.
When she got her MCSE, this is the book that she used, right? To keep it on my desk in her memory.
Yeah, yeah.
And there she is, right there. There she is,
just beautiful. Right there. Just Thank beautiful. You. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there it is. It's all Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen this photo in a while. She looks so cute.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could read this book, right? So I'm just saying, like, you need to read the language. I'm learning Italian right now, and I'm enjoying it. Here's Italian, right?
Yeah.
Learning Italian. I'm learning I'm learning Spanish also. I'm learning Portuguese. My thing that I say is you have to learn the language. You can't be like, I'm going to be like 1 year in the country and use Google Translate. No, that means you're just a long-term illiterate foreigner.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You want to be ready on day one.
Yeah.
So do the work. Learn the language. Yeah.
Love that. Well, Theo, you've been so charitable with your time. We'll probably have you back on again. We'll talk more cool stuff like books and sci-fi and high fiction and all those things. But folks, the reason why he's here is because he's doing something. He's giving back. He went through the fire and he forged himself into success. He's a man of good character and morals, and I can vouch for it. The men that he's specifically helped develop and train and put them into a better part of their life. And if you can influence and encourage and empower another person, just one person, you have done a phenomenal task in this life. And he's done it hand over, eons of time. So just the utmost respect. I appreciate you spending time with us, man. And any other parting words before we finish up here, good sir?
No, again, thank you very much for your help, what you've done to our students. I might be using your services one day. Who knows?
Yes, sir.
Again, I hit at the gym every day now.
Yes, sir.
I'm religious.
Your gym is nice. You got some stuff in there.
Yeah. And I tell myself every day you start from zero. This is it. Every day is Monday.
Yes, sir.
So go out there, slay today, just keep it going, and don't give up. And I say to anybody who's trying, don't give up. You'll definitely make it in the end, okay?
Love it, folks. That's all I can say. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Happy holidays, and we are out.